Okay. There are three states of mind. And these three states of mind are really determine how we see life, how we live life, how we think. And they are very simple. They are past, present, and future. Nothing can be simpler than that. But you see, the vast majority of people are past people. I know that because I've been doing hypnotherapy for 30 years. And most people are past people. The world is very real to them. Right and wrong is very real. Black and white is very real. And what happened to them in the past is very real, to the point that the moment is totally forgotten. These are people easily depressed, easily hurt, self-defensive, and of course they cannot see very clearly because they live totally from this image that they have of the past. And then we have future people. Now, future people are goal-oriented. And these future people still see the world as real, but totally different than the past people. The past people are victims of what has happened to them. The future people are not victims. They're goal-oriented. So they feel that they can change the future. But what happens is, which is not a bad thing in a way, but what is happening is that they're so caught in trying to change the future that they live in the future, which of course is impossible because the future never arrives. There's only now. So they're always trying to figure out, someday I'm going to be enlightened, some days I'm going to be awakened. And they live always in the future. And then we have the present people. And the present people are sweet, innocent, open. They're usually quite attentive and they listen rather well. But the present people also get caught in past and future. But remember, just get caught. They do not dwell. They get caught, but they are able to be present most of the time. But the present people have three stages. There are the present people, and then we have the present now people. You might say, what does it mean, present now? They are present people who have glimpses of now, what it's like to have glimpses now. And then there are now people. These are the awakened people. In other words, now predominates, and they live in the present, but they're totally from their experience of now. And then we have the now people. The now people, there's no point in discussing them because they are great beings. Jesus was a now person. Wasn't a person, it was a being, a now being. Buddha was a now being. Bhagavan was a now being. Nisargadatta was a now being. Now being is very rare to live from in this present age, but it is possible. Okay? Usually what we call the awakened individual is the now present. Just to confirm what I've been saying too, in the past couple of weeks I received emails from people telling me they experienced the now. And they've experienced it in a way that they never realized it. So anyway, I'll tell you the first experience. I was riding in the rush hour bus and there were no seats available. Then a man was getting off at the next stop and offered me his seat. At that moment, as I sat down, everything moved in slow motion. I disappeared, and the whole bus was filled with a presence where nothing was separate from anything else. So that was quite an awakening experience. Now that now experience is called the awakened experience. Whether she lives from it or not is determined by how caught she is in the past or future. You see what I mean? So if we begin to see that, we begin to move into now. And now is eternal. Can anything happen other than now? We mention it all the time, but feel it. This is what is called obvious. Another person gave a now experience. I was taking my dog for his usual walk and run in the park. As I sat down on the bench and watched him play, a great feeling of peace and immense love permeated the park, and felt I was the dog playing as well as the whole energy of the park. That was another now experience. So these are little breakthroughs of now, you see, where it deviates from the present, because the present everything happens, right? Thoughts happen in the present. Even thinking about the past happens in the present. Thinking about the future happens in the present. In fact, there is only the present. But there is something deeper than the present. That which is aware of 100% present. So when you become 100% present, you begin to enter the now. You see? When the mother gives birth, there is that moment where she loses the pain of her body because she's so in love with new birth. You see? Now in that moment of birth, she is now. You see? She's totally and 100% present. She forgets herself and she is total unconditional love. You see? That is called the fully awakened state. That's the state of an enlightened master. You see? Excuse me. So now that we have covered this, I'd like to engage you, because this is where it gets interesting, to engage you. And there's no right or wrong in anything that you say. Please remember that as long as you're sincere, as long as you're coming from your heart, anything that you say will be extremely important to the energy of the group. Okay? Satsang is a very important time, because whether you believe it or not, when you pay attention and you're totally here, your heart opens. And it is that opening of the heart that is important. Okay, so... And also I have another email here which discusses also some of the teachings of the Course, and some of the questions regarding the mind, the right mind, the wrong mind, the right mind and the wrong mind type of thing. We go into that. One thing I'd like to stress, that when we talk about the states of mind, are they real? Are the states of mind real? You said no.
Well, they're all existence coming into form in that place.
Very
but they're
beautiful. They're existing coming into form, but in themselves are not real. Right. Only now is real. That's beautiful. Yes. Okay. So any state of mind is just a state of mind. Is now a state?
No.
No. It is. Please understand the difference, you see? This isness, which cannot be touched, felt, seen, defined, explained, is. Now, the ordinary conditioned mind can't understand is. Course in Miracles says, God is. Wow! It said it all right there in those two words. You see? Just is. And you are. Now you might say, well, yes, I am Burt. You are Graham. You see? But you are. And the name comes after. It's a label that you've been given in childhood. But you are. You see? And when you begin to understand you are, everybody else is also you are. And so begin to feel the love and the oneness. You're still aware from your own vantage point. You still have this presence of you being here. But its expansion is unending. And there's no end point to the awareness called you. And you find that there's nothing but you. If the world is awful, you just are thinking awful. If the world is wonderful, it's because you are thinking wonderful. You're feeling wonderful. You see? You are everything. In truth, you is everything. And that's not grammatically wrong, you is. You see? Yeah. Okay, so what is necessary to make the grade from past to now? What do you feel? Now, some people might say, but I'm a past person. Am I stuck? Am I finished? No, you are a past person because you think you are. You see? But you might not have been aware that you were a past person. This is why it's so good to talk about it. You might have taken it for granted that you are all your experiences of the past. Oh, you are in a way. They are packaged, a package deal, but you're far more than that. Far more than that. You are aware.